So, and then I'm going to put them in my pot because I do have a pot. Let me bring my boiling pot over here, y'all, because I want to have everything close to me. So I'm not all over the place in the kitchen today. Um, let's do it this way. And because I think that these handles are probably gonna burn my hand, let's do that. All right, so I'm just gonna drop my tomatoes in here, and this will, so literally I'm just gonna take them in one and two across like that, and I'm gonna drop them in here. If your knife is, if you have a good knife, like I should, but as you can tell, this ain't doing nothing. Let me get another knife. You shouldn't have any issues cutting your tomatoes. So I'm just gonna just do this. And what happens is it will start to, um, actually I'm gonna put this back on the stove, y'all, because it's supposed to boil, and while it's boiling, it should be peeling. It will cause the tomatoes to have to peel. So I'm gonna put these back on the stove, but I'm gonna put them closer to me. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It has been a while, but we are in the kitchen today. Today we're going to be doing a few things. As you can see behind me, I have been canning. I canned 14 jars of spaghetti sauce yesterday, and today I want to take you along with me as I can another box of I'm gonna do spaghetti. Well, I'm gonna do marinara sauce, as well as just I'm gonna do some some tomatoes, and I'm gonna also can um, tomato sauce with it, which means I know people are like, well, that's the same thing. It's not. So tomatoes, just tomato sauce, crushed tomatoes, um, and then I'm going to can some like half tomatoes or some cut up tomatoes, and then I also want to can a little bit more marinara sauce, which is what we use for spaghetti. So I did get two boxes yesterday from my local farmers market. It's not really a farmers market, but it's a local market here in North Carolina where I live. And I know that my garden is not producing enough tomatoes. I have these same tomatoes in my garden, but I don't have enough to produce the amount of sauce and things that I want. A lot of my tomato plants went to disease. Um, a lot of them are just not producing. And then I had a lot of pest problems this year. It's just been a mess. And then I heard a lot of people saying that they had a lot of rain damage. Just so many things that you have to factor in when you are gardening. And it's just all a part of the gardening journey. So thank God I do have somebody, well, a local store closer to me where um, I can get some tomatoes at a decent price. Now, I did throw this one and this one in here for my garden, so we're going to use that also. So the first thing I'm going to do, I want to do this a little easier today. Yesterday, I did not peel my tomatoes, but I am going to peel my tomatoes today. I feel like I'm not organized, but I did try to get organized before I got on camera. So I'm just going to start dropping these in there. And what I'll do is I'll just do a couple of them at a time. So what happens is now, I think I see one that is, yes. Okay, so let me show y'all. So the skin is peeling off of this one. So what you do is you stick it in the ice bath to stop the cooking process. So I'm just gonna take the skin and peel the. I wanted to save my skin actually because I wanted to make um, what is that, y'all? There's something that I wanted to make with my skin. Um, Gosh, I'll tell y'all in a minute. I wanted to make some tomato powder with it. That way I could turn it into tomato paste later on. So that is something that you can do, but today I'm just not going to do that. It's I don't feel like I have enough that it's going to be worth my time um, to do that. Meaning, by the time I get through peeling all these skins, and by the time I get through peeling the skin, and I um, put this in the dehydrated to dry it out, it won't be worth. Um, it won't the I won't get enough to even do it, so I'm not gonna even try to do that. So basically, after I do that, I'm just going to cut them in half, just kind of showing y'all, and I'm gonna decore it at that time. So, are you all also in the process of harvesting your garden? And what are you harvesting? How did your tomatoes do? Because again, mine did not do so well. It just wasn't the best harvest season for me as far as tomatoes are concerned. But at the end of the day, I'm grateful for what is being provided, and that I was able to find tomatoes somewhere else so that I could um, make, stock my shelf with the things that I want to stock for the winter time. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to take um, this, and I'm going to put it in here. So these are just some cut up tomatoes, and I'm just going to get a scoop. Okay, so all we're going to do, and I'm going to push these down because I want to make sure I don't have a whole bunch of, because once you put some water in there, it's going to float up, and that's, we want to make sure we got enough in there. So I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. I'm going to add some juice into these. I'm just kind of trying to debubble it. You're supposed to have some head space in there. Rinse it off. So I'm going to take this chopstick, and I'm just going to do this to make sure we get out all the bubbles. And then what I will do is I will add more liquid if necessary. See, because I'm debubbling, now the liquid is going down to the bottom. Y'all see that? Let me show you here. So once I do this, the liquid is no longer at the top, and you can see where the liquid is stopping right here. So I do need to bring some more liquid in these jars. So I'm just going to take some warm water, and I am going to mash it back down to make sure I have enough headspace. Some of these don't have as much in tomato. Just moving them around a little bit. Okay. I'm going to take my same bowl, and I'm just going to add some warm water. Oops. I just kind of look because you should have a half an inch of headspace, but you don't need a whole lot. And let's be clear, y'all know we don't necessarily follow these recipes to a T, right? All right. So also, this is citric acid. Okay. So we're gonna take a fourth teaspoon because we're doing what are these pint jars? You take a fourth teaspoon and put it in each pint jar. Okay. All right. So once we do that, we're good to go on that. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be wiping down the rims with some vinegar. I do have white vinegar, and I'm going to wipe down the rims of my um, jars with some white vinegar. So I just take this paper towel. I keep some vinegar in this um, Old Smoky. And I'm just going to wipe the rims down and make sure they're not dirty. Now, I don't think that my water is ready yet, but we are going to just put these to the side and keep on processing the rest of the tomatoes. And then we will add these to the water bath canner because our water bath can. My tomatoes, we're going to add these to our tomatoes when we're tomatoes, Lord Jesus. We're going to add these to our water bath canner when it's ready. And they say fingertip tight, but I ain't gonna lie, I've always just tightened up my jar, and I have never had an issue with now I don't tighten it to where it's like, oh my god, it's so tight. I don't do that, but I do tighten my jar. Um so let's do this. So when I say I tighten it, I add it, and I'm done. That's why I said some people say, you're supposed to fingertip. Fingertip is, or finger tighten is this. So you're just gonna, and I just do an extra one. And so we're just gonna keep, wanna make sure that's clean. Make sure you don't have nothing on them. Okay, so now we have 7 jars, 7 pints of tomatoes, just plain tomato, no sauce, no nothing. So now I'm going to show you guys what I do because this is the first thing that I want to get out. Now we're going to process some tomato sauce, which means I am going to do the same thing, peel these tomatoes and everything, and I'll be back when I'm going to actually process them in my food processor to grind it down, and I'll show you what I do from there. So I had already chopped up all these. You can still season tomato sauce. So these are herbs fresh out the garden. I have some parsley, some oregano, some, wait a minute now, parsley, oregano, what is this? This is rosemary, sage. So I'm going to stick all of this in here. Okay. And we're going to have some seasoned tomato sauce. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a half of, what is this? A quarter teaspoon of citric acid to each jar. And if you can use this if you don't have lemon juice, okay? So if you don't have lemon juice, you can use this. If you have lemon juice, you don't have to use this. Yesterday I used both. I mean, it is what it is. It's just kind of what you want to do. It's your pot, your food. You do what makes you feel better. So this is bell pepper, onion, what is this? Bell pepper, onion, different color bell peppers, onions, and celery. And I'm going to stick all this in here. I'm also going to add this Italian herb seasoning. I get this from Costco. Actually, this one is from Sam's Club when I was shopping there, so I apologize. And then I add 1 can of tomato paste. So if my pot was bigger, I would have added 2 cans of tomato paste, but because I have a quarter of a pot, I don't have that much. I don't need that much. I do have some of these fire roasted diced tomatoes that was in my pantry that I want to get rid of. These are good into next year. So I want to go ahead and get rid of these. So I'm going to actually add this flavor to my, smell good. I want to add those into it. And then I also have another one, fire roasted diced tomatoes as well. So I'm going to add these in there. Okay, I'm just going to take this and stir it up. And I might get 3 or 4 jars out of this, okay? And then I'm going to take 1 can of, oh, that looks, I mean, if you guys could see this, I'm going to bring you closer so you can see. I'm going to use 1 full can of this, and I'm going to let this cook down for a little while. So I'm going to go ahead and take the diced tomatoes out of the canner. Ooh. Hot, 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 hot. I'll just sit them here for now till they cool off, and then I'll move them later. So we're just going to take these out. I did go ahead and I wiped my rims down with white vinegar, and I added more water to my stock pot, and we're gonna put these in the canner. Just gonna put this top right here for a second. When this canner comes to a boil, then I will start my timer for 40 minutes. Is this hot? It's not. Okay, so I'm just gonna sit this on here, and eventually I'll hear that boiling. And when it comes to a rolling boil, I will start my time for that. So, right now, I'm waiting for my cans to seal. They aren't sealing yet, but we'll see. I want to show you that these did seal, and you can tell that they seal. I used to take my tops off, but last year I had 3 spaghetti sauce go bad on me. And so now I take my tops off and I do this. I'm doing this test to make sure it don't come off. I did it to all of them, and I removed the lid. Well, not the lid, but the lid that you use it to seal it with. And so it doesn't come off. Now I will say for these, this spaghetti sauce is a little thick, which I like it like that. And I just kind of water it down just a little bit. I might use my immersion blender just a little bit more. But I like my spaghetti sauce a little thick. I don't like watery, runny spaghetti sauce. So, anywho, yeah. So one of the things that I did was I actually added some frozen tomatoes that I had from the garden into my sauce. I forgot about these, y'all. They are not peeled or anything, but they are frozen, and I did add them to my sauce. So, yeah, I decided to go ahead on and get out what I could. Look at that. So I will be back once I get ready to, once it's not going to cook. I'm not worried about it too much cooking down right now. I'm trying to get these tomatoes to be thawed out in the sauce, because you don't have to actually put them in there unfrozen. So once I get them down real good, then I will go ahead on and come back to y'all, showing you all how I use my immersion blender. And we will make sure it's seasoned well. Oh, y'all, I gotta add some garlic. I do have some garlic that I want to add to this sauce. I think this is going to be so rich because it has so much flavor, but I definitely want to add some garlic too. All right, y'all, so we are back, and we are going to go ahead on and take out our sauce. Ooh. This is just a tomato sauce. See how it's separated? I'm just gonna go ahead and take all these out. And once these come out, I'm gonna wait a few minutes because I still have to, and I'm gonna stir this pot because I want to see. Oh yeah. So a couple things. I added some garlic to it, as you can see, those garlic cloves. And so now, and all of my tomatoes have now thawed out in the pot real good. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to go ahead on and use my immersion blender, and I'm going to blend up all of this. This is what I meant by, if you have any, oh y'all, let me get this off of here. If you have, yesterday when I was telling y'all that yesterday I did not peel my tomatoes, this is what I meant. So if you don't peel your tomatoes and use an immersion blender, you will find that a lot of the tomato peel will be at the bottom of the blender at the end. So let me go ahead and take this off and rinse this out, and give me one moment. So now if I take, you can see how smooth that is. I'm just gonna show it to you real quick. See how smooth that is? And that's what we're looking for. Ooh, that was hot. I can't wait for y'all to see the texture in this jar. Can you see the jar? Yeah, okay. So So I'm just gonna take this jar. It is so smooth. This is better than, I promise y'all won't go wrong if you make your own spaghetti sauce at home. This is so much better than getting spaghetti sauce in the store. You will not go wrong making your own sauce. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. Okay. Now, my family, my sisters and my mom, they would love this because of the flavor. So I'm definitely going to, if I make this again, I would definitely go buy 2 or 3 cans of the fire roasted tomatoes to add to it, just for the flavor. I'm gonna move this out the way. I will say that when you're doing spaghetti sauce, it gets messy. It does. I ain't gonna even hold y'all and tell y'all no lie, it gets messy. Okay, y'all, so this is the last little bit of the spaghetti sauce. So let me turn y'all around. So far I've tagged all my sauces. So this is the seasoned tomato sauce. This is the just regular tomatoes, just canned tomatoes like this. And then this is all the sauce that I did yesterday. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and cut this pot off because it's done. And we're going to take out all of these and let them rest. Like so. And so just want to let them rest like that. And these have been boiling for about 45 minutes. I let it go just a little bit over. And you can hear the pops popping already. The tops, not the pops. The tops are popping already. And so I'm gonna let that rest, and then I just wanted you all to see, as soon as they cool off, I'm going to put fire roasted spaghetti sauce 7/20/25 tag on them, so I'll know which one's which. So you can see here, this is what they look like. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.